The Time Traveler's Secret. Ava Adams never expected that cleaning the attic on a hot summer afternoon would lead to a life-changing adventure. As she sifted through old boxes, she discovered an ancient-looking clock hidden under dusty blankets. It was beautifully crafted, with intricate brass gears and strange symbols on the sides. A silver key was embedded in the back of the clock, and without thinking, Ava twisted it. Suddenly, the room around her seemed to warp and blur. The familiar walls of her house melted away, and she found herself standing on a cobbled street under a bright blue sky, surrounded by people wearing old-fashioned clothes. She spun around in confusion. "Max!" Ava shouted. Her older brother, who had been upstairs with her, appeared beside her, looking just as shocked. "What happened? Where are we?" Max looked around, his eyes wide. I think we just time traveled." Before Ava could respond, an older man wearing a long coat approached them. "Ah, so you've arrived," he said, smiling. "I am Professor Garrett, and I've been waiting for you." "Who are you?" Ava asked, her heart racing. "What's going on?" The professor chuckled. "You've activated the time traveler's clock. Welcome to the world of time travel. This is the year 1885, and you've entered the past." Ava looked down at the clock in her hands. "But why, did it bring us here?" "The clock is a key," Professor Garrett explained. "It opens portals to different moments in time. And it looks like it has chosen you to be its new protectors." Max raised an eyebrow. "Protectors? From what?" "From people who would misuse the clock," Garrett said darkly. "There are rogue time travelers who want to change history for their own benefit. If they succeed, the future you know may cease to exist." Ava felt a shiver run down her spine. She had always thought time travel was just something for movies, not something she would experience. But here she was, standing in a different era, caught up in something far bigger than she ever imagined. Professor Garrett continued. "Your mission is to safeguard the clock and protect the timeline. But be careful. There are people who will stop at nothing to steal it from you." Just as Garrett finished speaking, the sound of heavy footsteps echoed through the alley. A group of shadowy figures appeared at the end of the street, their faces hidden beneath hoods. "They are here," the professor whispered. "Go. Run." Max grabbed Ava's hand, and they sprinted down the alley, dodging past old market stalls. Behind them, the mysterious figures were getting closer. Ava's heart pounded in her chest. She could hear their footsteps getting louder, and she knew they didn't have much time. They turned a corner and found themselves in front of a tall, stone building. The professor's voice called out to them from behind. "Quickly, inside. There's a hidden passage." Ava and Max rushed inside, pushing through the creaky door. The inside of the building was dark and dusty, but they could see a faint light coming from a small door at the back. The professor was already there, waiting for them. "This leads to the secret tunnels beneath the city," he said. "They'll never find you if you go through there." Without looking back, Ava turned the key in the clock and held it up in front of her. The air shimmered around them as the world began to twist and warp again. She felt dizzy for a moment, but when the spinning stopped, she was standing in a completely different place. Ava blinked and looked around. They were back home in their living room. The house looked just like it had before, except for one thing: the clock was no longer in her hands. "Did it work?" Max asked, his voice trembling slightly. "Are we really back?" Ava glanced at the spot where the clock had been, but it was gone. I think the clock sent us back. But I have a feeling this isn't the end." Ava felt a sense of mystery linger in the air, and she knew that the adventure wasn't over. The clock had chosen her and Max for a reason, and the story of time travel, history, and secrets was just beginning.